Hello, good evening. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh, I keep jiggling the table and my camera's jiggling. Sorry about that. Welcome. My name is Tina Bigford. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Here in the US. I am in the Northeast, the very cold and right now very windy Northeast. So we had an earthquake the other day on Monday. Yep, it was something. My house shook. It was really very loud. It was very strange. It was a very strange experience. And apparently at 3 o'clock this morning we had another one. So the one Monday was 3.9 magnitude, and this one this morning was just 2, I think 2 something. Anyway, now I can say I've experienced an earthquake. Nothing like the folks do out on the West Coast, though. So yeah, so I'm just gonna give a minute, see if we have some people joining. All right, so welcome to my craft room. We're going to make a couple of cards tonight. So the cards we're going to make tonight are, I don't know, I've seen them called pillar cards or column cards. I don't know who the original card design is from. So if anyone knows that, leave me a comment and let me know so that we can give credit to whoever is responsible for this fun card. So I am going to, so a couple of things. So before I switch to the desk camera, yeah, I did project sheets. So I did a project sheet for the Twist and Pop card that we did on Sunday. There is a link to my Stampin' Up! Website where you can actually download a printable version of that. Also, I have linked a list of all of the products that I used on that card. So the card we did on Sunday was more of a birthday card. The one I did the project sheet for, same design, but I did it kind of as a Valentine's Day card. So you can find all of the list of products over on my Stampin' Up! Website. There's a link in that video. I will drop a link in this video also because I already have a project sheet done for card 1. And I'm working on a project sheet for card 2. And I'm going to put those over on my website also. So you can find them over there and you can download them. You can find out you can take a look at all of the products that I used and shop with me if you're interested in buying any of those products. So let me just switch down to the desk cam. Okay, I think I have this all set. All right, so let's look at card 1. So this is card 1 that we're going to be making. This is our card. And so when you open the card up, it opens up and there's this column or pillar. So we're going to be making this one. And this is actually a technique, some people call it swiping. I've heard I heard one demonstrator call it swinking, I think. She combined 2 words together. So I'm going to show you how to do this also. And then, this is the other super cool. The sentiment that I have in here is 2-tone. So I'm going to show you how to do that also. Now on this one, I don't know. I'm going to have to do something different with the sentiment because when you open the card all of the way, you can't quite see this. But if I put the sentiment too far over here, you'll see it when the card is closed. So maybe we'll have to choose a smaller sentiment. All right, so to do this card, let me just grab all of my supplies. Sorry, here we go. All right, we are going to be using, the Layered Florals, 3D embossing folder. I'm going to be using this one. Hello, Mom. Hello, Aunt Judy. Thank you for joining, you guys. Did you guys feel the earthquake the other day? So we're also going to be using the layering leaves just for our sentiment. Now, the one that I used was this one, Sending Hugs, but I'm thinking we're going to use probably the Best Wishes because it's a little bit more narrow. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to be using, them upside down, my Fresh Freesia and Blackberry Bliss. These colors are super cool together. And we're going to be using the Craft White ink to do our swiping. All right, so our card components. Let's get our paper here going. All right, so we're starting with our card base. Our card base is 5.5 by 8.25. So this is a little bit different. We usually do 8.5. It's 5.5 by 8.25. Then we have our inside panel that I'm just doing with basic white. So this is the Fresh Freesia. This is the basic white, 3 inches by 5.25 inches. And then we have a panel for the front, our panel for the front. This measures 3 inches by 4 1/8 inch. We have the front layer, which is just a little bit smaller than the front panel. So the front layer measures 2 7/8 by 4 inches. And then we have 3 pieces of designer series paper. This is from the Bloom Impressions designer series paper. This one is, it's got this green on the back, but this floral pattern on the front. These 3 are all the same. They measure 3/4 inch by 5 1/4 inch. Okay. And I'm going to just set these aside, make a little room here, and I'm going to grab my paper trimmer because we're going to do some scoring. All right, so we are going to score. I'm sorry about that reflection. It'll go away when I put paper there, won't it? There. Okay, so we're going to score our card base along the 8.25 inch side. We're going to score it at 4 1/4, 6 1/4. Now to do this, I have to open up the arm. So 6 1/4 and 7 1/4. Okay. Oh, I missed one. 4 1/4, 5 1/4. I missed the 5 1/4. So we're going to, sorry about that. We're going to score it at, can't really see that very well. All right. There. 4 1/4, 5 1/4, 6 1/4, and 7 1/4. That's our scoring. Side. And we're going to give all of this a really good burnish with our bone folder. And we are folding in towards the, remember from last week, this is our score mark. This is where it's indented. We're folding away from that. We're making that a mountain fold. Okay. All right. So with our card open, and it's like this. So this is this is the back of the card. This will end up being the front of the card, but we're going to take our designer series paper and we are going to adhere this designer series paper to, all right, let me just show you how this is going to work so that you can, this is going to come in here and fold like this. So this last panel right here is actually going to be glued down to the card, the back of the card inside, technically inside of the card. So we want designer series paper on the first 3 sections here. So we're going to put designer series paper on the first 3 sections. I'm just going to load all 3 of these up with glue while I have the glue open and the glue is flowing. And you're just going to, you know, I mean, it won't dry. It won't dry so that you can't put it on. It takes, you know, a couple of seconds for it to set once you put it on. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's starting to turn clear. When it's clear like that, that's when it becomes more of a repositionable glue. So we're just going to put that and this one. So I just chose a different pattern for the designer series paper on this one than I did on my my first card, the one that I just showed you. It's from the same paper pack, but this one I chose the more colorful version. This one I chose the more muted, just the fresh freesia and the blackberry bliss in the white, as I thought that was just a little bit I like this paper, but I wanted to do something a little more colorful. Okay, so now with our card like this, we're actually just going to flip it over and we're going to fold in the first 2 sections. So we're just going to fold in these first 2 sections, okay? Now this one's going to adhere to the back of the card. What I found to be easiest, it's not how I did the first one, but what I found to be the easiest when I made another sample was to put the card inside piece in first. So this is because once this is up this way, it just made it a little bit harder for me to kind of get that positioned on there. So we're going to just go ahead and do this part right now then. We're going to take our layering leaves and we're going to grab our best wishes stamp, put that on there, and we're going to stamp. So this is that technique I was showing you, I wouldn't call it balayage, but it's kind of like 2 colors that fade into each other. So you want 2 colors that are they don't even have to really be in the same family, but you do want one color that is significantly lighter than the other color. That's really how it's going to work the best. So let's see, best wishes. Okay. So what we're going to do, I want this to fade from light to dark. So I'm going to tap my stamp in my light ink, but I'm only going to ink up about half of it. And you can see where the ink is. Let me see if I can show you. So you can kind of see where that is. It's not going all the way down to the bottom of the word best, but it's there. So you can just tap that on there. And then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to tap it on my darker ink, going from the bottom to the top, and I'm just going to come into right around that same area. So now you can see how that's inked up there. Now that's going to be a pretty harsh line between the two, so I want to soften that out a little bit. I'm just going to grab my little finger dauber that I have labeled Blackberry Bliss, because I'm super organized most of the time. And I'm just going to tap this right where those 2 colors meet all the way across. And I'm just softening that section, that area where they meet. So now when I come in here and stamp, I do want to make sure I position this, because I'm using a different stamp. I just want to make sure I'm going to be okay with where I stamp it. Yeah, okay. So what I just did was I basically took the card, flattened it out, and looked to see how far out this goes so that I know how close I can get to this edge where it's still going to be hidden. Because I don't want my sentiment to show when the card is closed. that's the surprise for when they open it. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to stamp that. Just hold it for a second and let that ink just absorb a little bit, and see if I can, you can see how that's fading. I know the light's not really great in here. So my videos at night, obviously, I'm relying on the lighting in my room and not sunlight. So it's a little bit darker in here. I apologize for that. But trust me, that's beautiful. All right, so now I'm going to put that, I'm going to go ahead and put that on my card. I'm just going to put my glue on there. You do, if you're using the multi-purpose glue, I mean, you should store it so that it's upside down. Makes it a little bit easier for the glue to flow. I have a glue holder from a company called the Country Hive in Minnesota. They are they have some pretty fun stuff. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that you cap your glue when you're not using it, because if you don't cap it, it will dry out. So I'm just lining up these edges here and this edge so that these three edges are even, because this one in here, this is gonna come up and form that fourth even side. Okay. All right, so we have our card inside. Now we're going to take this card and we are going to fold in those first two sections, and we're going to take our glue and we're going to put glue on the section that doesn't have the DSP. Okay. Easy peasy. I'm going to cap that glue because I just told you you had to, and I almost didn't. And then you're going to hold this flat. You're going to just hold this flat, and we're just going to go ahead and close the card. Close the card and press. Just give it just a second for that glue to just kind of take, and then you can flip it over, and there you have your column. Easy, right? Super easy. Okay. Now we're going to take our front panel or our front layer, whatever we want to call this piece, and we're going to put this on our card. Now, I'm just going to hold a little bit of pressure here. This wants to pop up because, you know, obviously, because it is a column. So I'm just going to hold this down, and I'm going to layer this over the card where I want it. And I do want it to cover my sentiment. So I'm just going to, it's not going to be centered on my card, because if I center it on the card itself, then this sentiment shows. So I'm just going to move it over here. You could do a bigger panel if you wanted it centered on your card so that it would hide that sentiment. I'm cool with this. So I'm just going to come in here and just kind of gauge where I want it. I want this to pop up. So it is really very important when you glue this piece down that you do not glue past this score mark and get any glue on this section here. If you get glue over here and you glue this to both sections, then this part won't pop up. So we want to make sure we're only putting glue on this inside 1-inch section. Okay. So I just line my layer up from top to bottom, so I can see the width of where my glue can go, and I already know that it has to be within this panel. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to just put some glue here, and then I'm going to just put that right on there. And just give it a second for that glue to set. Give it just a nice gentle press and leave that there. Okay. Now we're going to do some fun stuff. Woohoo. All right. We are going to use that Layered Florals 3D embossing folder. Look how gorgeous that is. Gorgeous. We're going to take our Blackberry Bliss, set this aside for a moment. And take our BLACKBERRY Bliss, and we are going to position it in this embossing folder. Now, this is a 3D embossing folder, which means you're getting a lot of detail on this embossing. This is going to be a nice heavy embossing. It's gorgeous. So this technique of swiping works best with a 3D embossing folder, but you could still do it with a standard embossing folder. So let me just grab my stamp cut and emboss machine and pull this over here. So to do embossing with your 3D embossing folders, you only need your base plate 1 and your embossing plate 4. So you're just going to put your base plate down, put your embossing folder, the folded side in first, put your plate 4 on, and roll this through. And I apologize if there's any shaking in the camera. And then just get this out of the way here. Bring this back in. And voila! Look at how gorgeous that is. Oh my God, on that BLACKBERRY Bliss especially, isn't that amazing? It's amazing. I love it. I love it. This was the first embossing folder that I bought from Stampin' Up when I was before I was became a demonstrator, because it's amazing. So I'm actually just going to listen. I printed out I had to test my printer, so I have just a test. It had to print a test page, so I printed a test page. So I'm going to use this because we're going to make a little bit of a white craft ink kind of a mess. So we're just going to take I'm just going to protect my work surface here so that I can move this aside and not have white ink on my work surface for when I bring my card back. So to do the swiping, you're going to take your embossed piece, and you want the embossed section up. So this is the raised side of it. You want this up, and you're going to take your craft ink, your white ink. Now, you could do this with you could do it with like a silver or gold pigment type ink. You could do it with those, absolutely. Now, my white ink pad it has not recently been re-inked. I do need to re-ink it, but it is going to do the trick. It's going to show, you'll be able to see what I'm trying to show you for sure. It's still plenty juicy, but it does need to be re-inked. I'm going to use the side. You can see where the ink pad is closer to this edge here. You have a little bit more of a space here between the edge and the pad. You want to use the side where the pad is closest to the edge. The reason for that is you would have to you wouldn't get as much ink coverage this way because you're actually swiping this section of the ink pad over the paper as well. So we're going to use this section here. Now, when you're doing the swiping, we're going to just basically swipe it right across the cardstock. When you do that, you do want to have it as flat as possible, not up at an angle. Okay. So if you do it up at an angle, you're going to get edges. And some of them, you might get edges, and that might be okay. You might like that look, and that's fine too. But I'm going to just come down as flat as I can, and I'm just going to drag this across the cardstock. So when you do that, you get this beautiful image, and you can go over this as many times as you want, and you can go over it in different directions and turn this around. And I'm just going to, this white ink takes a little bit to dry. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to do a little bit more over in this corner here. Now you do get some, you can see up in here, where I got a little bit more on the low areas of the cardstock, and that's okay. You can't take it off. So, I mean, I suppose you could probably try to get some kind of a, you know, rag or something to get some of it off, but it's really not worth it. It's there. It's there. So this takes a little bit to dry. Let me just show you up close what that looks like. Like so. So because this takes a little bit to dry, I did one earlier so that it is all dry. Now when this, you can, I want to show you the difference. This is the one I just did. It's very bright. The ink is very bright on there. The ink dries a little more muted. So you get this beautiful muted look to that white ink. All right, bring our card back. Move this paper with the ink on it out of our way. And we're just going to come back here with our glue. And we're going to just put this on the card front. And this is it. This is it, a really easy, super easy fun fold card that you can, get glue all over your fingers, Tina. Yep. It's not glue, it's ink. And we're just going to put that right on there. Let that glue set. And there is our card. Like that. Now you can put a sentiment, you could get a little sentiment tag and put a sentiment tag on here. You can put gems on here. Instead of using designer series paper for all of this, you could use an embossed cardstock. You can emboss designer series paper. Like you could do whatever you wanted for here. So you could switch that up a little bit, and it stands for display. Beautiful. So this is the portrait version of this pillar card. I also wanted to do one that is landscape. So this one's a little bit different. I did it this way, so it stands this way. So let's do this one. All right, for this one, put these things aside so I don't get my fingers all in them. Okay. For this one, we are going to be using some different products. We're going to use the heart shaped, which is a celebration set. It is a $120 order qualifier. So if you order $120 worth of product, you can get this set free. It comes with the heart shaped dies, which are amazing. This one is amazing. It's the one we're going to use. And then we're going to be using also this Hearts of Elegance. And what I'm going to, where I'm using in here is I'm going to use this rose in the leaves, and I'm going to use the XOXO. Okay. All right. So our dimensions for this one, we need, our card base is 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. And then we need a front layer. Let me see. We need a front layer. So I am using Peach Pie. This is the designer series paper that I chose. This is the pattern that I chose. So for the, I'll give you those dimensions first. So the designer series paper, you will need one piece that is 3 1/4 inch by 4 inches, and then 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch by 4 inches. Okay. This is Peach Pie. So I am bringing in a piece of Peach Pie cardstock for my front layer. This piece measures 1 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have this piece that will layer on top of it here that measures 1 3/4 inches by 4 inches. Okay. And then I have here, I just have a piece of scrap Lost Lagoon that I'm going to cut. You can see I've already done that. So I'm going to cut another heart out of that one. And then I'm also going to cut a heart out of the basic white so that we can do this, this effect here. All right, let's get started. Let's die cut our pieces first, because then we can just move that right out of the way. So I'm going to take my heart shaped, and I'll do this. You don't need to see me roll this through. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to die cut a heart. So I'll bring these in. To do die cutting, you need your plate 1, your die adapter 2, and you will need 2 of your number 3 plates. The one in the worst shape is all cut up is on the bottom, and I do flip these back and forth and then top to bottom, flip them around every which way so that it helps keep them flat. They do curve a little bit. You can see this one is curved a little bit. This one is well used, but it's still very flat for how many times I've used it. That is because I flip it around all over the place. Then I'm going to bring this paper in, my cardstock, and then I'm going to put my heart on. Now this fits very tightly on here. I have to be very strategic about how I put this on. And you can use Post-it. A lot of people will use like Post-it tape or a Post-it or washi tape or whatever to hold that in place. I'm not really going to worry about that right now, because I'm going to probably reposition it when I get it over into the machine itself, because it will slip. But I wanted to show you on camera how that worked. How are you guys doing? Are you sticking with me here? Oh, tell me where you're watching from. I mean, I know, Judy, I know where you're watching from, and I know where you're watching from, Mom. Let me know where everyone else is watching from. So I'm just going to grab my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to poke. So all of these dies come with little holes in them. They're little like relief holes. It's just so that you can push. You can use your take your pick tool. You can use a toothpick. You can use a, you don't really want to use a pen because you don't want to write on your die cut image, but it just helps push the paper out of the die. It loosens it up just enough so that you can come in here and release that from the die. So we did that in the Lost Lagoon. Did I say Lost Lagoon earlier, or did I say pool party? I don't know. And I'm going to do the same thing with the white. And the reason I'm doing the same thing with the white, now I'm going to use the inside of the white one that I do, but I can use the heart itself, the leaf heart, on another project. So this is what I get with the white. Same thing. You get the inside and then poke this out like so. Just comes out. Now I just ran this die, this metal die, through my die cutting machine with a dryer sheet so that it helps because this one, I've used this one quite a bit. So the paper does tend to get a little bit stuck in there because of the detail, the delicate detail. So you just run your die through with a piece of a dryer sheet. You can also just do a quick rub, and that helps it. If you don't want to run it through, you can just take your dryer sheet and just give it a quick little rub. It just puts a little bit of that, it's like fabric softener or whatever it is that helps. This also helps, by the way, keep the static down when you're doing dyes. I don't know about you. I tend to get a lot of static. Like my hair today, I don't even know what was going on. I look like what's his name? Doc from Back to the Future. My hair was all like standing up. I don't even know what was going on with it. All right, so now we have our die cut images. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the white inside and we're going to use the green heart. So I'm going to just take these and set them aside, use those on another project. All right, I just bent that a little bit, but I just need to be careful with that. Okay, so let's brush this off. I got from the fabric softener sheet some dust from that. All right. So we are going to take our card base. I've already scored this one. You score it at 4 1/4, 5 1/4, 6 1/4. Oh no, sorry. Here I go, giving you the ones from the previous card. Never mind me. Never mind me. Oh my goodness. All right. So our card base is 4 1/4 by 9 1/2, and we are scoring it at 4 1/4. What the heck am I doing? No, 5 1/2. I don't even have that scored right. All right, let me measure that. I have the wrong measurements written down. So I did Yep, I have the wrong measurements written down. Hold, please. I need to grab another piece of paper. This is not 9 1/2 inches long. So yeah, there's that. There's your problem, Tina. There's your problem. I am a problem solver. Okay, so let's just do this the right way now. So our card base needs to be 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. So let's cut our sheet of 8 1/2 by 11. We'll cut it halfway on the 8 1/2 to 4 1/4. That gives us our 4 1/4. And then open up our arm, and we're going to cut this to 9 1/2. That looks better. All right. Now we're going to score this at 5 1/2. So I'm going to line this up with the 5 1/2. Use my scoring blade. We're going to go to 6 1/4. And then we're going to go to 8 1/4. And then 9. Okay. That should work much better now, Tina. And then we're going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. How you guys doing? You hanging in? And there. All right. So now this one is going to do the same thing. It's going to fold up like this in that smaller section. I don't have a 2-inch section here that I'm going to glue. There's no need to. So there's just that little 1/2-inch section there that's going to glue to the back part. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. I do think I want to do the same thing I did before, though. I want to put that designer series paper on right here. So we're just going to, yeah, you know what? My heart is not broke by having to glue down this yellow piece. I know a lot of people like yellow. It's happy and it's beautiful and all of that. It's happy and cheerful and stuff, but I don't know. I find it to be a very aggressive color. So I don't even know what that means, but it's just how I feel. I don't know. It's weird. Okay. Put that down. So that's going to be our inside of our card. So I'm just going to flip this over real quick, and we're going to put our other 2 pieces of designer series paper down, and we're going to put them in these 2 narrow sections here. This last section is the section we're going to glue. So we're going to put it on this one here and then this one here. So flip those over, get my glue going. Do you guys like yellow? Tell me what you think about yellow. Is yellow one of your happy colors? Is it the, you know, I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about yellow? I mean, I like yellow roses. Yellow roses are beautiful, but that's probably about the only thing I can think of in yellow that I like. So pick this one up. Pardon my arm there. All right, I'm going to just grab my tweezers because I can't quite get that without getting glue on my hands. And then I'm going to put that one on. So we have that. So that we've got our two pieces there. And we're going to glue this. So I like to test out how that's going to go. Okay. Like so. That's how it's going to go. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to, let me see if I fold over these two and close the card. That will work. Okay. Same technique as before. I just wanted to test it before I just go gluing this thing and on camera in the wrong way. So we're just going to take these last two sections, fold those over, and we're going to put glue on the section without the DSP, and we're going to close the card. Now, when we close this card, you do have to be careful because you have another score line here. You don't want to fold it there. You want to fold it on this last score line. So fold it there, close the card, and just press. Let that glue set, and then open it up. And now you have your card that stands like this. So now we're going to just put our peach pie on. Put that layer right on there. And you can fold this flat so that you can put that on if that's easier for you. And this part is this peach pie, I made this very narrow so that it takes up most of that that front panel. You can make that whatever size you want on your card when you make your card. This white panel is going to go here, but we're going to stamp it first. We're going to stamp it with our stuff. So we're going to take our Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to take, where did my block go? There it is. Okay, I'm going to take that block. And this block, I just got my block right in that ink. Wipe it on that. What happens when you have ink? So I just got ink all over my paper. So we're going to turn it over. We're going to flip it over, but we have one shot, or we're cutting another piece of paper. All right. So we are going to do the Be Mine from this Hearts of Elegance. So for the photopolymer stamps, I put them down so that the smooth side that's going to adhere to the acrylic block is up, and I just like to let it set. It kind of relaxes the stamp and lets it move into its natural position. So we're just going to do that. Load it up onto the block, stamp it in there. And then I'm going to come in here. I'm going to stamp this right at the bottom of this tag, just like that. And I'm going to come in now with the same thing. This, oh, you know what? Damn, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, we are going to cut another piece of paper. I know. You guys are like, get it together, Tina. Get it together. So this piece was 1 3/4 by 4. So this is 4 by 1 3/4. And there. This piece is out of the way. All right. This is the one I wanted. I want this one right here that says, from the heart shape, that says, my thoughts of you are all heart shaped, because I like that one. And I believe that that is going to fit on there nicely. Okay, pick that up. load up the ink and stamp it at the bottom. Look like I got ink on that. Okay. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. And then we're going to come in with now the Hearts of Elegance. And I'm going to put Be Mine back. And we're going to use this rose, and we are going to use this leaf. So I'm going to put the rose on that and the leaf there. I'm going to do the rose in the peach pie. And we're just going to stamp a couple of roses on here. And they're going to just, they don't have to even be all the way on the cardstock. They can kind of be off. Just a couple there. And then I'm going to come in with the Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to put some leaves in here. And you can stamp off so that you're just giving it a little extra there, like so. And then one more thing that I want to stamp, and I want to stamp it. Let me see. Put this one back. This one, it's really important too that you clean your stamps well. I am using a cleaning pad. So this is looks like my video is stalling a little bit. So I think I'm not sure if I'm having some internet issues or not. So this is the Stampin' Scrub. And it's just a pad that you can just swipe your stamps on. I spray a little bit of the Stampin' Mist cleaner on one side. So I've got a wet side and a dry side. Okay. All right. So then the last thing I want to stamp is in the center of this heart. I want to stamp the XOXO. And I think I'm going to stamp those and that in the peach pie because do I want to do that? Yeah, I'll stamp it in the peach pie right in the center like that. We're done with the ink. And then we're just going to put these two things on and we are done. So I'm just going to glue this front panel on here. Like so. And then I'm going to take my heart. Let me know if you're still with me. Let me know. Is my video stalling? It seems to be doing some weird stuff, though. It's very windy here right now, so I'm not really sure how things are going. You guys are able to see me and hear me well. So I'm just dotting a little bit of glue, little bits on the areas of this heart, just kind of all over. I want good coverage, but you don't want a lot because you don't want it to be gooping out. And I'm going to pick it up with my tweezers. It will help me place this. So I'm just going to place this right in the center here. And this is very delicate. So you want to make sure that you let it land in the position that it wants to. Its natural position, because we're gonna squeeze this thing in and you don't want any spaces. So don't try to force it or manipulate it or move it or any of that. Okay. Then we're just gonna come in here and I just put glue right on the inside here. Right on the inside here. Put a little bit in some of these spots here that would help that stay in place. And then we're just going to put this right in place. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to use my tweezers And I'm just going to paper piece this in. It's called paper piecing. So you're just piecing it right in place like so. Bam, just like that. Just like that. So there is our card. Closes and opens. Closes and opens. So these are our 2 cards. Where's the one we did? This was the one we did. Okay. Those are the 2 cards that we did. And I will have project sheets ready for these after my video post. So I'm just going to flip the camera. Can you guys see those okay? They don't seem very clear to me, but maybe it's just my internet. So, all right, I am going to flip the camera to me. Here I am. All right, this camera looks clear. So I'm hoping that you guys are able to see the cards okay. I'll go back and watch the video when it's after it posts. So yeah, oh, video's fine. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for confirming that. Mine, it looked all blurry and weird on my end. So yeah, so let me know what you think about the card. Both of them, the cards, let me know which one you like better. I really like the this one. I like this whole effect here. So yeah. So I will put in on YouTube and also on Facebook, I will put a list of all of the ingredients for these cards in the description of the video. And on both, you do have to click on more under the description so that you can see everything that I'm posting there in the description. So you do have to click on more. I will put a link to the free project sheets so that you can download those project sheets and print them up and make the cards yourself. And a list of all of the products that I used will be linked in that link. When you go to my website, you'll be able to see the products that I use there as well if you're interested in those. And yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube and you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel, like my videos, share my videos. It helps me. And I would appreciate it so much. And yeah, if you're subscribed already and you want to get notifications when I'm going live, click on the little bell and you will get notifications when I go live. You can also follow me over on Facebook, my Facebook page, The Tatted Stamper. I do have to be better about posting more things over there. So I'll work on that. I'll work on that. So, all right. Well, I will be back Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You know, I always say what time it is, but it's Eastern time. So I will be back Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time to make another card. And I don't really know what the card's going to be yet. Oh, I got my card swaps back. I got 30 cards that I want to show you guys. So I will try to design a card on Sunday that's a little bit quicker so that we can also look at some card swaps. Some of these cards I'm making them. I'm going to figure out how to make them and I'm making them. They're gorgeous. So I will see you guys. Hopefully I will see you guys on Sunday at 10 a.m. Enjoy what's left of your week, and I will see you later.